Welcome back to JP26. This is your boy JP. And of course, this is Studio 26. We had the Masters this week. And I'm about to say something that I never thought I would say in my life. Golf is fucking electric.
Keep it real, JP. 26 for the studio. What's the deal lately? With the 6 storylines we go. Keep it real, JP. 26 for the studio. What's the deal lately? To the 6 storylines we go. Hey, JP. Yo, JP. I hear you enjoy golf now. Buck and Jerry Astrid.
Coming in at storyline number 6, the NFL draft. And yeah, I postponed my final mock draft another week.
You dick!
Sue me. It's my program. I can do what I want. But we've talked about this before on this program, guys. We're all mock draft sluts here. Am I right?
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Is that the way you say it? That's a bingo.
Again, just to give you guys a reminder, we have all kind of things going on in the NFL draft. There has been some shakeups. Notably, there's been some information that Derek Carr, the Saints quarterback, is probably going to end up missing the entire season, or could at least potentially miss the entire season, which is going to throw their draft plans, and I imagine the draft plans of everybody behind them, completely out of whack, because that opens the door for a quarterback to sneak into that top 10 with the Saints.
Figure that out on your own, genius.
Yeah, sure did. Figured what out.
I will be having my mock draft next week, though. That is going to be my final mock draft. That's going to be the one I truly stand on. Once again, I'm going to be doing 2-1. I'm going to be giving you guys side-by-side comparisons of what I think each NFL team will do, and then the other one will be what I would do if I were that NFL team. A lot of those will run similar. Some of them will be different. You guys will have to wait on that for the next episode. But that is storyline number 6, the NFL draft.
Super horny. That's not funny. Don't rub those.
Oh, come on. Stop with the licking.
You guys may have noticed that I'm wearing my Padres gear.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
It's because storyline number 5 is my San Diego Padres. And for those of you who don't know me, I imagine there's better programs for you to watch, so I don't know why you're here.
I'm having a good time. Not.
But I appreciate that you are. For those of you who do know me, you know I love my Padres, all right? And I'm not going to force my teams into these storylines, but the Padres got the best record in baseball. You know what I mean? What do you want me to do? Fernando Tatis Jr. is crushing the baseball. Is this going to last all year? I don't know. Are the Padres going to break my heart come October?
You ready?
I was born ready.
Storyline number 4. The NHL playoffs are approaching. And I don't know if you guys are avid watchers of hockey. I know some of my viewers are. And I know some of you guys really only get into it later in the year when it comes to Stanley Cup playoffs. And I know that there are some of you who don't watch hockey at all.
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksy. You get that through your head?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a waste of time.
Oh, then get the fuck out of here then.
I am.
Okay, see ya. Next question.
But I'm here to tell that group of people, that last group, you need to join the second. You need to join the second group of the play. Just watching the playoffs and stuff.
How about new?
But the reason why I say that is because the NHL playoffs is electrifying. It's amazing, guys. You got the fans going absolutely nuts. The intensity rises. Players are absolutely destroying each other on the ice. Everybody's got their butthole clenched.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
All right. I went a little bit far, but it's an awesome time. And that's what you guys need to know. So if you don't know, now you know. I'll put you on notice.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are coming up, and you better be watching.
Well, I'm not going to, ever. Even if there's a fire.
Off to storyline number 3, the NBA playoffs and the play-in tournament. And if you guys don't know, the play-in tournament is pretty cool. The way it works is it's going to start out tonight. Well, for you guys it already happened. For me it's going to happen tonight. And we're going to have the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference taking on Steph Curry and the Warriors over in Golden State. And then you will have the Atlanta Hawks going to travel to play the Orlando Magic. And the way it works is whoever wins that game is going to end up with the 7 seed. Now, respectively, in each conference, Warriors will, or the Grizzlies will end up playing the Rockets as the 2 seed. And then in the Eastern Conference, whoever wins this 7 seed will end up playing the Celtics as the 2 seed. So a lot of people would say that the Eastern Conference teams probably aren't going to have a chance in that first round versus the Celtics. And a lot of people will probably give the Grizzlies and the Warriors a decent shot to beat the Rockets.
Are you sure about that?
So by the time this episode comes out, you guys are already going to know who the 7 seed is, which may lead you to believe, JP, don't make a pick because then you can look like an idiot. But here's what you don't know. I am an idiot.
It's true.
Give me the Orlando Magic and the Golden State Warriors.
Game. Blouses.
Storyline number 2 is a story that I almost never predicted I would be talking about on my program, and that is golf. And I can tell you this, after watching that tournament, it certainly won't be the last time I'm talking about it. It was amazing, you guys. I'm telling you right now, I've never thought that golf could be actually that entertaining. And I don't know if I'm just getting old or if that shit is actually that electric, but it was really cool to see. There was all kind of things going on in the game. You had DeChambeau come back in it pretty early in the final day, and then he started falling off. And then you had Rose come out of nowhere, and he ended up tying Rory at the end, and they sent it to a playoff. And then you had Rose make an unbelievable shot to get his ball near the pin, and it's looking like Rory's just gonna choke this thing away, and it's probably gonna be a really bad outcome for Rory, and everything's going against him. And he just comes out and he hits a fucking beautiful shot, lands right next to the pin.
The long journey is over.
I'm sure maybe there isn't too many people that are on my channel that are into golf, but I'm here to tell you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a bit of a casual with golf. I'm not trying to hide that. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm an expert, but I do understand it a little bit. And I'm definitely going to be watching the Masters from now on. If you give me those guys that were out there at some of the biggest tournaments, I'm tuning in, man, because that was truly unreal to watch. And it was not only the golf, and it was not only the caliber of player that was at that tournament, it was the crowd. It was electric. It was the emotion, and you could just see it. When Rory made that final putt, he just let everything go, and you could just see how much it meant to him.
McIlroy has his masterpiece.
So it was really cool. So shout out to all my golfers out there. Shout out to the Masters. Unbelievable job. And I will be covering your sport more often in these storylines because of it. So shout out.
One of us, Google gobble, one of us. We accept that one of us. Google gobble, one of us. We accept that one of us.
Congratulations to Rory, by the way. For those of you who aren't familiar with golf, which is I'm sure the vast majority of you, he achieved the career Grand Slam, which means of all the 4 major tournaments around the world, he won all 4 in his career now. So congratulations to Rory. Only 5 players have ever done that in history of golf. Think about that. Only 5 people have ever done that in the history of golf.
What does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Congratulations to Rory and congratulations to golf.
Who gives a shit? Yeah. Oh!
Storyline number 1 this week, the biggest card of the year, UFC 314, happened on Saturday, and it delivered.
Holy fucking shit.
It was awesome, you guys, and I will issue one apology before I start. Alexander Volkanovski, I apologize for picking against you. I didn't think the old Volk would return. I thought he would be a little bit chinny. I thought Diego would take him out.
Wrong.
And he dang sure almost did. But he ultimately did not, and Volk outclassed him the rest of the way. Besides those few moments that Diego had where he hurt Volk, Besides those few moments where he hurt Volk, Volk outclassed him the entire time and cracked him a number of times.
I did not see that coming.
So Alexander Volkanovski reclaims his throne as the featherweight champion. And as of right now, I think as much as we all love Jose Aldo, we have to say that Alexander is probably the greatest featherweight of all time, resume-wise. Now, I will say this. When it comes to Aldo, a lot of people made the argument that he wasn't the greatest featherweight of all time because Prime Connor ended up knocking him out in 14 seconds. And just the same way, Volk will probably always have this blemish hanging over his career of Ilia Topuria knocking him out and then moving up to lightweight, which is what he is now doing. So here's a couple things that stood out to me about that fight. One, Volk is an amazing generational athlete. To be his age and still be as fast and explosive as he is, it's unprecedented, and you don't usually see that from a fighter. But how long will Volk's reign last moving forward? I don't really know. The next generation of young guys is usually hard to fend off for a long time. As of right now, he is the champion, and we all love Volkanovski. If you don't like Volkanovski, you're probably the type of person that hides a TV remote. You know what I mean? You're a piece of shit. Nobody cares about you. But I will say this as well. With Volkanovski looking as amazing as he did, right? So you had Diego Lopez, this up-and-comer who's a lot of people were picking him going into that fight, including me, and he gets outclassed like that. It really makes us ask, okay, if Volkanovski is still that good and it wasn't a fall-off thing, then just how good is Ilia Topuria? Because we have now seen Volk look amazing surrounding the performance of Ilia Topuria. So we know that he was good after Ilia. We know that he was really good before Ilia, and Ilia cleaned him up when they fought. Now, a lot of people can think might have been a lucky shot, might have just, landed the right punch at the right time. Volk made a mistake in that fight. Say whatever the fuck you want. Ilia has proved it time and time and time again. And at this point, I think we need to see him fight Islam Makhachev. I really do. I think he's earned that. I think, especially with how Volk looked against Diego, I think that should all make us go, wow, Ilia is really good, right? That's my thought.
You might have thought that nigga was dead. He ain't dead. He gonna wake up in 30 minutes hungry enough to eat up everything in your house.
Also from that card, we had a few other standout performances. And we could talk about Yair outclassing Pitbull. I kind of expected that. We could talk about Dom Reyes knocking out Krylov. I kind of didn't expect that. But Dom Reyes looked unbelievable. Really cool stories there. Patty the Batty went in and did what I expected him to do against Michael Chandler. I said it before the fight happened. I never thought Michael Chandler deserved that 7 ranking that he had to begin with. I think being 2-4 in the UFC since you've gotten here and only still being ranked at number 7, not a huge fan of that. I think he should be ranked lower than that, but that's just my opinion. Patty went out there and absolutely dominated him. So whatever opinions I have about whether or not Michael Chandler deserved that 7 ranking to begin with is completely irrelevant now, because Patty will be rocketing up to that spot and taking that position from him. And we're going to see him go against some really tough guys. And remember, him and Ilya Topuria had some words for each other back in the day. Remember the hand sanitizer boy situation?
Take that shirt. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
Right. So there's already a matchup ready to go in that lightweight division that's going to draw a lot of interest from the fans. Is the UFC going to set that up next? Does Ilya go straight for the title and that sets Patty up to fight him for the title? I don't really know. There's a lot of different ways it could go, but really cool that Patty exceeded expectations going into that fight. I expected him to win the fight. I don't know that I expected him to dominate quite as badly as he did. He was mauling Michael Chandler, raining down nasty elbows. This guy looks like he is in peak form physically. He don't look like Patty the Fatty anymore. That's a bad boy, and he's coming up those rankings. The real story coming out of that card, though, was Jean Silva. Now, Jean Silva was the favorite going into that fight to begin with, but a lot of people thought, hey, Bryce might be a bad stylistic matchup for him. He could take him down. He could hold him there. We saw what Charles Jourdain did with being able to take him down. You know, the Weasel talked about this on his podcast. MMA math doesn't really work like that. Bryce Mitchell's takedown strategy wasn't going to be the same as the way that Jourdain strategized to take him down. Jourdain's a striker. Bryce is a wrestler. I would imagine game planning for Jean Silva would have gone into that for each of those fights. So all I can say is this guy is unbelievably talented. He is a freak athlete. His technique is unbelievable. He's dangerous everywhere. He's hard to keep down. He's as strong as they come. He looked like he was going to snap Bryce Mitchell's neck, if I'm being honest with you, with the way he choked him out. It was a performance where I think Bryce had striking that was better than people would have expected. I think he handled himself in the striking a lot better than people anticipated going into that fight. I think Jean looked dangerous the entire time, and I think that his ground game is a lot better than people gave him credit for going into the fight. And I think now everybody knows moving forward that this guy is not just a one-trick pony who needs to fight you on the feet. If it goes to the ground, he can snatch up a neck on you real quick. So that is my storyline coming out of the UFC card. Jean Silva, we need you to fight somebody next. I know a lot of people are talking about Aljamain Sterling. There's a lot of people bringing up, all kinds of different names. He wants to fight for the title immediately and go for Volk. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the fight to make. Call me crazy. I thought right after the card, I thought about it. Who could he fight in the top 10? Who's this guy? This guy? What about this guy? I'm trying to think of maybe a grappler, maybe a striker. And then it occurred to me, who has been more impressive than this guy? Right? It's not just the wins. And it isn't who he's beating necessarily. It's how he's doing it. Right? It's so impressive. It's unbelievable. You're talking about a guy who went up to lightweight to fight Dober, right? Who goes up to a bigger weight class just to stay active, and he cleans Dober up. Now he's fighting the upper echelon of the featherweight division. He fights Bryce Mitchell, and he submits Bryce Mitchell. He submitted Bryce Mitchell. Guys, that's impressive. You know, any way you slice it, that's an impressive victory. So I'm for giving Jean Silva the title shot. I think it's time, man. I think it's time. Let's see this guy.
Hey, is it worth it? Oh, yeah, it's worth it. If you're strong enough.
All right, guys. And as always, before we get out of here, I got to shoot my shot. All right. And I just want to say as well, if you guys are new to my program, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and like and subscribe, or do it the other way if my graphics the other way, because I don't really know. You know what I mean? But I just want to say I appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot to me. I love you guys. Please come back next week for another episode. I will be making another one week after week after week after week. I don't stop, baby. I don't get tired. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you were saying. You don't have to keep asking.
All right, I love you guys. See you next week.